Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here for Deep Astrology this week for the week of January the 15th through the 21st of 2019. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks for being a part of watching this show and supporting it and spreading it out to people. We do this show live on my Facebook, The Leo King. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, this is a big week because this is the lunar eclipse in Leo. And this is the last eclipse of this eclipse cycle to start 2019. Not the last of the whole year, but the last of this cycle. Because remember that we have eclipse cycles twice a year. And so, but this is going to kick off, literally, kind of like the Super Bowl. This is the kickoff point right here of where you're going in 2019. This is the big corner that we are turning in our lives this week. There is so much freaking astrology to go through this week. I mean, honestly, I've been doing this show a long time. I've been doing daily video horoscopes for 7 years. So, this is my wheelhouse. But, literally when I'm looking at this week, I'm like, kind of like myself going, what am I going to tell people? There's so much here to say. And so let's just stick to the most very potent things. And then when we go into this show, and of course, using Astro Gold, the best astrology software for your iPad, your iPhone, or you can even get it on Android. It's such an awesome thing because, you know what? We go into the charts on this show. But the first part's where I channel the astrology and I'll let you know what's going on. And I think it's super important to know that there is a lot going on. Let's start with the first thing that's going on is we have got a very, very powerful Sun in Capricorn conjunct the South Node in Capricorn to start this week off with. And to me, this is this corner we're turning. We're feeling this big shift about to happen because the South Node is literally what is all about making a big shift, making a big turn in life. And when you make this big turn, it's definitely about your long-term goals, and where you're going to have to go. But more importantly, these are big choices about this quest. Because if we look at the sun, it's been through a lot. I mean, it went through a solar eclipse. It's been through Saturn. It's been through Pluto. And it's ready to get the hell out of here. I'm just going to be honest with you. So the South Node is this point where the sun's like, okay, I've got to get through K2, right? I've got to get through the South Node. I got to get through this very karmic energy that's ending. And remember that South Node eclipses, which we had just a couple weeks ago, even less than a couple weeks ago, is about endings. And that's how you see where the corner kind of turns. And so over this course of the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of things that have been coming to the surface as the sun went through Saturn and through the Pluto energy, which, by the way, we've never seen in our lives in Capricorn, especially this dynamic, this starting to be this close within 10 degrees orb. This last week and a half has really been about what people are stewing on, what they need to change, what they really need to do, and truth. Truth. This is the big truth call. This is no more messing around. And this is a big time because this corner here that we start this week off with is so weird because when you get into, this corner, you almost don't know what's on the other side. There's all this Neptune, Saturn sextile that's been going on. And by the end of January, they're going to be exactly in sextile. So this is divine alignment that's going on. But yeah, there's a big corner here and it deals with karmic past life stuff. Stuff that you have to let go that's not part of the journey anymore. I mean, Capricorn's all about going on top of the trail and taking the mountain and let's go and let's get to the achievements. But the South Node is saying, well, we can't get there if you're having this in your life. If you are not karmically done, then you can't move on. And so there's a part of us having to face what is karmically over. What is karmically done? That is blocking us from getting on the ultimate trail in our life. And when you look at this South Node element at 26 degrees of Capricorn and True Node, there is this interesting element because Uranus is at 28 degrees of Aries. And so this week we are going to have the Sun square Uranus. And Uranus is in Aries. This will be the last time in our lives, unless we all live another 80 years, which I got a feeling I'm going to make it another 80. I'm just going to let you know. I think that everything that's going to be happening in the 2020s and 2030s, especially with technology and health, they're going to be able to keeping me alive. Even if I will be, you know, in some crazy computer maybe, I'll be alive. Who knows? I don't know. But this will be the last time we'll see it, because it's definitely one of those things that we just honestly are not going to see again. And so this is also because we come off this corner of the South Node this week and we go, oh, Uranus! And Uranus, what does Uranus want to do? Uranus wants to take us to the highest place. You know, it literally is the ruler of taking you to heaven, taking you to ascension. And so this is a week whether or not you're fully ascending or not. This is a week where you do not go backwards. You go forward. But it also is a week in where it will show you where you're going backwards in your life. If you've been hanging on those dingleberries, they're not fun. If you missed it with the toilet paper and stuff, like, they're not fun. You don't want to go, like, to a movie with dingleberries in your pants. It's not going to be a fun time. That's all I'm going to say. So this is bringing out the moist wipes. Oh my God, we're going here already today, but I don't care. This is bringing out the wipes to make sure that you are ascending and you're getting rid of the shit that's not ascending you to what you really want in your life. Don't forget that Mars is in Aries. And this week, while the sun is squaring Uranus and telling us to ascend and cut off all that shit in our life and all the things that are not making us go towards, as Christopher Witecki had taught me, he always called it Uranus the elevator or the escalator up. Are we going to ascend to a higher place or not? And you know I like to be real as hell on this show. I don't sugarcoat. This isn't your great-grandmother's astrology show. And this definitely isn't the typical old-school astrology, blip, 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 blip. This is the real shit here. Are you really going to stay in the story that you know is not going to get you to the ultimate supreme? Because this is about ultimate supreme. If you want the cheese motherfucking pizza, have fun. Have fun. Because what's building up? It's a total lunar eclipse in Leo. The ultimate heart, the ultimate life, the sun coming into Aquarius this weekend with a lunar eclipse. Guess what? It's about electricity in life. And you cannot have that electricity and that life and that power and that love and that connection. You might have it with cheese pizza if you really like cheese pizza. Don't get me wrong, you know. I don't eat cheese, so I actually am weird. I don't have cheese on my pizza. But I have all the other shit. But there is this element of, like, do you want ultimate supreme or do you just want just the bland, you know, I'm just going to not move on in my life and I'm happy with this and I'm content and I'm not going to go on the quest and I'm not going to really try and achieve higher in my life? We're never in our lives. I'm just going to be honest with you, because the cycles are way too long. I don't think we're going to make it 300 years as far as, like, staying alive, like, now, like, unless they come up with some crazy system. I don't know. But we're never going to see this again, everybody. I'm just telling you, we're never going to see all this. There are so many planets in their home signs. We have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction beginning in Capricorn about whether or not you came down here to be part of the story of changing the world and being part of the world and reaching your ultimate achievement, or are you going to back out? Last night I was on Instagram and I did a live for, like, I think it was almost an hour. It got to the point to where Instagram says, you have 1 minute remaining, you know what I mean? And people were asking me about, you know, doing light work. And at the end of the day, when it comes to your light work or your soul purpose, you can't run away from it. And I used an example of how I thought that a lot of the spiritual community is running to the hills because they're afraid. There's all this fear of, oh, chemtrails. And I'm not saying they're good. So I just want to be, like, clear. I'm just saying the dark is using all of these things. Oh, GMOs and, you know, I know 5G's coming and cell phones that are going to be really toxic to the oxygen. and so forth. There's, in the air especially, the molecules change with 5G frequency. There's so many things, right? There's all this fear. So all the spiritual people are running away to the hills like herds. Guess what? This is Capricorn. This is the Matrix. Do you think Neo ran away? Do you think Neo ran away? No. How do you think he defeated the Matrix and changed the whole world and made it much better? He wasn't down in the dungeon. I forgot, what did in that movie, I don't know, Craig, if you remember in the Matrix, what was the place they called like their little home fucking down in the underneath of the earth? The trash? No, I forgot what it was called. But guess what? Neo hung out there for a little bit, but you could tell on his face he was like thinking about how he's going to change and save the humans. And it wasn't about running away and waiting for sentinels to come and get you, because guess what? That's how the sentinels worked. They worked by herding everybody and scaring them into a little corner, and then they attack. So guess what? This is a big test in yourself if you have the courage to change the system by having the courage to do what is extremely, I would say, necessary to step up into your power of yourself and know you can't run away. There's no way to escape the system by going into the hills or a desolate island or going to the Bahamas, or, you know, there is no escape. Like, I want to say that. So there is this part that is reminding people, whether you looked at as like a social norm that's going on right now in the spiritual community, people afraid, oh, the cities or all this or all that. Like, this is where people have to be spiritual warriors now and bring the light now. And it's whether or not you can do that in basic things in your life, like facing the fears of what's not aligned in your life anymore, ascending to what you really want. Because I'll be honest with you, Aries is like very clear on what it wants. Very clear. Like, it was very clear, the camera that I'm talking to you with, I wanted that camera. I didn't sit there and kind of go, well, I'll be satisfied with my little DSLR camera. No, I want a cinema fucking camera. I want to do a live show where, boom, look at that shit. How sick is that? Live on Facebook right now. You can't do that with fucking webcams. So it's about knowing in yourself what you want, and why would you even deal with what you don't want? Why would you even deal with it? Because you're not going to get where you want to go with something you don't want. And Uranus rules tools, innovations, the tools that we need. You know, if you are not satisfied with the things and the identity and the connection to who you really are and what you really want, and you're afraid, and especially if you're afraid to make those tough choices, which really, a choice is accepting who you are. And process that one. Accepting who you are instead of feeling bad for who you are and what you want. This is a moment where all time up to this point are memories. It's the past. Whatever feelings, whatever moments you've had, they are great memory books. I come from the age of, you know, when we still had to print, you know, our pictures out, and especially when we had the little throwaway cameras. Like, I have millions of photo albums like that remind me of those memories, but I look at all those memories and those people in my lives, and they always will be dear to my heart and everything like that, and I could go talk to them any day of the week if I really want and everything, and it will be totally cool and connected. But this is the path I'm on in my life. And so this is about erasing everything to this point of not allowing yourself to accept what now is the best for you. Now, remember, Capricorn's about time, present moment. And when you're in a shadow of a lunar eclipse, which means all of it's prepping, and it's going to be in Leo and Aquarius, underneath there is this rebel inside, there is this fiery heart, there is this passion building are you going to miss out on that passion? It's a lot easier to, be afraid to step into your greatest self. It's a lot easier. But are you going to get the ultimate supreme? Now, Venus and Mars are trining this week. This is an amazing alignment in fire signs. And Venus is getting ready to conjunct Jupiter this week. And Mars and Jupiter and Venus are all coming into alignment. I mean, this is huge. And Mars in its home sign, Jupiter in its home sign, Venus is about to get everything she's ever wanted in her life. I mean, whatever that is. I was about to go real far south, but we're out of Scorpio world now, so I'm going to try and adjust the way I speak to people now out of Scorpio. I was about to say she's about to get the gangbang of her life, but you know what I mean? But I gotta say it. But it's like this is amazing. She's got Jupiter, she's got Mars, she's got the masculine, Aries, bam, and it's in Sag. It's open. It's ready for new. It's ready for expansion. It's ready to go into the ultimate journey of a lifetime. So, are you going to waste this moment? We do have a couple things that we still have to keep talking about. We got Mars that will square Saturn this weekend, while Venus and Jupiter are coming up, while Mars is starting to trine Jupiter. So with all these great things we have options to get, there comes the tough choice of knowing that there's a lot of power right now. But to make sure that not only we don't over push it, so this is where it's a very weird dichotomy. This is about definitely going towards everything you want in your life, but only what's in alignment. This is where we can get distracted. So maybe stay at the gangbang for like an hour, you know what I mean? But then you still got other things to do. There's a point where Mars squares Saturn, and it's so crazy. I don't know if you can hear it. It is raining crazy here in the studios today. But the craziest part of Mars square Saturn, because they're in their home signs. And then Mars trine Jupiter is in their home signs. So this is the battle of the gods. Whenever, the Romans or the Greeks talked about the battle of the gods, this is with Zeus, Jupiter. And Zeus has got Venus hooked up, Athena, all this beautiful energy. And got Mars, the ultimate warrior, but then got Kronos that's ready to go eat your fucking kid, you know what I mean? So this is kind of a weird energy where it's you either are going to use this power for the ultimate achievement in your life and only use it for that greatness, and there's a lot of benefits with it. So it's a lot of sugar around, but using the sugar correctly. Or it's people who are literally going to try and sugarcoat a loaf of bread that's moldy and choose not to do what they want to do in their life. That's how I'm looking at this. A lot of people loved years ago when I used to say, it doesn't matter if the body's dead or how much, lipstick and how much, makeup you put on the dead body in the casket. That's a motherfucking corpse that's fucking rotting. And it's always freaky to me when they put all the makeup on, they try and make it look all good. I'm always like, I don't know about that. I could see through that bullshit. Well, are you going to just try and sugarcoat situations that are not part of your path? I think Mars square Saturn is actually demanding all of us to go, we have to go and use this energy for what we want, to achieve what we want in our lives. And with all this sugar around and all this beautiful, optimistic and opportunities, to not waste it. But of course, just know with Mars square Saturn, it's like have integrity. It's like driving a freaking sports car. Stay in the lanes. You know what I mean? But fucking use the throttle. Don't be afraid, just stay in the lanes. Use your radar detector, make sure there's no cops around, if you're going to go over the speed limit. But it's you can have everything you want right now in your life, but are you going to choose no or yes? It's at the point. I'm sorry to say, this is it. Ironically enough, the sun this week, while it's squaring Uranus, is going to sextile Chiron. So if you're afraid to ascend, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to heal yourself. And you'll actually probably feel like you are going to go in the deepest, weirdest hole of your life. Emptiness. And we're just going to bring it up. Saturn rules hell. That's right, in Capricorn. I know, might sound like a little crazy, but Saturn in Capricorn rules hell. And let's use this as more of a philosophical way of hell, not more of a literal, although it is a little bit literal. Do you want to be stuck in hell? Yes or no? It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. Do you want to go backwards? Or do you want out? Because right now the universe is giving everybody the out to heaven ever. But if you're not ready to let go, that's what Chiron is. And with the sun in Capricorn square Uranus, it's kind of like, okay, we got to ascend by taking a cardinal action, and we've got to take initiative. And Mars is squaring Saturn too, and Mars is trining Jupiter and trining Venus, where we got to just do what we want. Do what the bigger picture is. Do what the big, big, big reason we came down here is for. Do what we really want. Do what the real fucking awesome adventure is. There's a fucking amazing adventure that is freaking here. You can feel it. But are you just so afraid to let go of just something that actually, if you look at it, it really isn't that great? And I know that we have to be empathetic, and I know that we have to have integrity, but that is something that you don't have to accept as yours. Chiron in Pisces starts to like pick up and hold on to the weirdest things and tries to help out other things or help the other person to feel better, to heal something within inside of yourself. But it's always a situation, especially at the last degrees of Pisces, that ain't going to work out anyways. You already know it. And that brings me to Mercury. Now, Mercury's been through hell, literally, in Capricorn, conjunct Saturn, of course. And then it's on its way to Pluto. And when Mercury conjuncts Pluto this week, all while this shit's going down, it is going to reveal the truth to you. And you have to listen. Pluto, with the south node in Mercury, we've never seen this in Capricorn in our lives. This is the physical manifestation of the deepest, most intense environmental change in your life, of your actual physical structure and road in where you're heading in your life now, and the choice you make, and the hidden feelings inside that you literally are wondering if you should do that road or that road. It is at this is the last call. Because if you watch my monthly and you actually look at the last week of January, here is when Saturn and Neptune will exactly sextile in their home signs. And to me, that's the ship shoving off. Do you already want a great seat on the ship, or are you going to be running from far away and trying to like leap off the fucking pier and try and jump onto this thing and wait for them to throw out a rope and swim onto the boat and get really cold and not have a good seat and ride on this new thing like, I barely made it. Hey, at least you made it. But do you really want to go through those feelings in the next couple weeks? When really, this lunar eclipse, all this stuff that's happening now is clear, because what happens after all this Mercury conjunct Pluto and Mercury coming towards the south node now is this revealing, and Mercury has not been happy. And I said that last week, Mercury went retrograde in Sagittarius at the end of this, 2018. Then it went back into Scorpio at the position where Saturn had stationed and went retrograde, over where Mars had retrograde in 2016. Like, Mercury was not happy. Then it went direct. Then it came into a big square, of course, with conjunct Jupiter It retrograded over Jupiter in Sag, where again, it's at its detriment, and Jupiter's at home, so it's like lost, it doesn't understand. So if you've been having like weird mental blocks, or can't remember a name, or can't remember things, or that's normal, because Mercury now has been in Capricorn over Saturn, restriction of the mind, and now it's on Pluto, just having to face the deep truth. Mercury has not been in an air sign for a long time. Mercury has been through water and through fire and through now earth, and with the most intense earth we've ever seen in our lives. I'm telling you, this is where logically, if you're trying to base your life off what you logically should do, I mean, I'm going to be real with you, you're going to lose. This is where you have to do your biggest gut check, your biggest gut call, your biggest intuition that is telling you to go in this direction ever. This is it. This is it. You got to do it. Even though you don't know what's around this corner, you can see it in your vision. That was Jupiter square Neptune last week. And how ironic that this week as well, we'll have a lunar eclipse on Sunday night on the West Coast at 9:30. Well, I'll show you in the chart. It's like 9:35 p.m. Pacific. On Monday, it's at midnight. Total lunar eclipse. You will see this motherfucker turn red in Leo at the first degree, 0 degrees of Leo, which rules blood running from the head of a person. Blood dripping. This is your blood. This is your life. With the sun in Aquarius now, for the first time, you got to remember that last year when we came into Aquarius and we had the eclipses, the South Node was in Aquarius. So electricity and the feeling that everything could come together and all these weird situations, they all didn't make sense. So if you want to go repeat 20 motherfucking 18 all over again, stay where you're at and don't make a change, and fucking don't use this lunar eclipse to fucking launch you with all the Uranian energy squaring this lunar eclipse, by the way, to ascend us to what we've ever wanted in our lives. I'm telling you, it's now. I'm telling you, it's here. The sun's going to come into Aquarius and feel like, wow, we can actually figure out, and all the connects pieces or Legos, or actually I don't even know if millennials remember Legos and connects, or Lincoln logs. Let's actually go there. All the Lincoln logs are going to come together actually and actually work, and all the people and the groups and all the right connections that are going to bring you your ultimate happiness and love are all right here. But you're going to have to let go of the shit that's holding you from that world. And if you want to repeat 2018 all over again, which I'll be honest with you was the biggest fucking cock block ever. You know it. I'll call you all out. You know it. That shit was a cock block. I don't know what the ladies call it when another lady like blocks a chick from getting hooked up. I guess they're just like, oh, she's a jealous fucking whatever. Guys, we just say, hey man, why'd you cock block me, bro? Fuck. So I don't know, I'm not a girl, so I don't know the lady side. But you know, if you want to go through all that all over again in 2019 and live that whole fucking neurotic weird story again, because everything that it was in 2018 that happened, to be honest with you, it really wasn't meant to be. It was meant to teach you a big lesson. It was meant to show you kind of what you don't like, what's not connecting, what's not working out. That's why we had the South Node in Aquarius. That's why we had eclipses in Aquarius and Leo. That's why we had Mars retrograde in Aquarius. That's why we had Uranus square Mars while it retrograded. That's why we had Venus square the nodes in retrograde as well. We had Mars and Venus last year in major aspects to the nodes in retrograde. And especially from June all the way until the end of the year. Guess what? In the beginning of 2019, we have the opposite. We have Mars and Venus in trine with Jupiter, with Mars and Jupiter in their home signs. Venus is getting paid by opening up to the adventure. This is the lotto ticket for your life, but you got to turn it in. And this lunar eclipse in Leo with the square to Uranus, with the opposition to the sun in Aquarius, because you got to remember the sun is at detriment in Aquarius. Detriment is not good. So here's all these planets in their home signs, and now the sun is in its detriment. Do you really want to end up in a cold, disconnected place when there is this full moon, total lunar eclipse in Leo, in the last North Node Leo eclipses for 18 years? 18 years. Just process that one in your head. I think if there's going to be some astrologer out there that's going to be like, okay, he's exaggerating a little. It's more like 16.9 years or whatever. Okay, I get it. But I'm a man about completion cycles, not the beginning of a next cycle. So this is the completion of the Leo eclipse, the completion of the Aquarian South eclipse. You either go blood red to your heart now, what you know fucking feels like ecstasy, that feels like the teddy bear you had when you were 2 years old, that feels like when you were with your best friend fucking going to the store to buy your first CD, that feels like the fucking prom when you went with your buddies and the girls and you went to, or if it's the other way around, the girls, they got their dress and then they went to the hotel, you know, with all the guys, and oh my God, it was such an exciting thing, oh my God. You go to that and you're gonna win. Or just go sit in your weird random situation that fucking doesn't make sense anymore. Just go sit there. Have fun. We'll see you later. That's what this is. I know it might sound fucking crazy and ludicrous, but universe ain't playing games no more. No more training wheels. Because if you look at Monday after the eclipse, well, it'll be still in full moon. We're going to have the biggest fire grand trine that I've seen in positivity in a long time. Mars trine Jupiter with Venus conjunct trine the moon full in Leo after an eclipse. With the sun, which will be in in Aquarius with no south node. No fixed energy besides the moon and the sun in Aquarius, but no more Scorpio shit squaring it. No Taurus yet, but hey, it's good. It went through the square already in Capricorn. Next year we'll deal with Aquarius. We'll talk about Sun in Aquarius square Uranus in Taurus. And that's what I'm trying to say is you need to look, let's start to look at next year. If you choose not that blood red true happiness, your true heart, your true spirit, knowing that that's going to connect you to the world that makes sense and works and everything's going to work out, well, next year, if you don't choose that, you're going to run into the biggest hardships and roadblocks with creating and self-worth and feeling valuable, and then you're not able to connect, and then you lose your manifesting energy, and then you're just going to be in a world when Saturn and Pluto are ruling, and they're conjuncting, and we're going to go through with Jupiter, we're going to go through the biggest Capricorn ever in 2020 in our lives, and you know what? Do you want to be in hell? This is your way out now. Now. And you know what? It's going to come with that feeling of loss. Chiron at the end of the last part. You got to end stories. End stories. End subconscious stuff that doesn't work anymore in your life. End patterns. End patterns that you just have keep doing. You know, whether it's like friendships or relationships, right? Like it's like, I'm done having relationships that, you know, always I do this all the time and then I do it for them and then I complete their cycle in that way and then I learn this and da-da-da-da. Or I'm done taking jobs where fucking I can't get this, like, or whatever. Or, you know, it's like the patterns are so clear. And what this really is like, are you ready to be the most powerful, connected soul? Because that's what's going to change the world for the lightworker community. Not how well your website is. Not how well your content is. Not how many people you have on Instagram. Not And I'm just going to say it, how much green juice you drank this morning. Not how many yoga poses you did. Not how much astrology you researched. None of that. None of that is going to work and change the world if you don't know how to fucking make choices to be the ultimate supreme in your heart and live it. That transcends physical 3D reality that everybody on this fucking earth is trying to talk about 5D, but has no sense of even how to fucking do 3D to actually connect to 5D, because at the end of the day, you have to learn to fucking follow the ultimate supreme of your fucking being. Don't fuck this one up. Straight up. That's why I'm here. I fucking rile people up. I piss people off, and you know what? I'll be honest. I am a hardcore, straight up, I don't fuck around astrologer. If you want real astrology or you want to go watch great grandma's astrology, fucking go and watch them fluff you up and put baby powder all over it. Don't mess with your heart right now, because you know it's not fucking fully on. Don't even try to tell me that it's fully on. Because you're still holding on to something that you know doesn't work, that you know it's not part of your path anymore, and you're terrified to fucking fully let it go. And you know what? It might take nights where you're going to cry in your bed about it. It might take nights where you're going to have to fucking just go, oh. It might take nights where you're going to have to try and get over it and do weird things. But you know what? Your ultimate happiness to connect to the world that you want to be, you don't even know what the new world looks like. This is like Walt Disney opening Disneyland. We had no idea what it would be like. You know, Disneyland is fucking makes the most money for Disney than their movies, like their theme parks. So you can go watch the movie in your head all you want of what you really want in your life, or you can enter into the motherfucking theme park. It's up to you. You can go watch your little Netflix and chill with your little situation, whatever it is in your life that you're too afraid to hold on to, and try and cuddle up next to it, and it's never going to feel normal. Whether that's you afraid to move, whether that's you afraid to get out of a relationship, whether that's you afraid to change the job, whether that's you afraid to let go of something that's not working right in your life, whether it's an addiction or whatever. You just got to own what's going to give you to the ultimate happiness now. And I'm going to show you why in the charts. And I know I can be rough. I know I can be tough. But you all know that I got a heart that I love you all, and I do this out of love. And that's what this time is. And I'm going to show you a deep secret in these charts right now. They're going to show you why, if you don't make the right choice, and of course that's a big question of what is the right choice, but if you do not align with your highest frequency of what you really are, and you don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to separate from all the connections in your life to actually look and remember who you are, you will be in the biggest trap the dark has ever set by subconsciously using the world, society, the way that we have spent the last 2,000 years of the age in Pisces to purposely trap you so you don't enter into the real Aquarian age. All right, let's look at the charts. I'm actually really thirsty. I think I left my Sprite up there, right there on the top. I know, usually I got the drink going on. Where are we going here? All right. Thank you. Ah, there we are. Even me. And I'll own this one. After a year of deep astrology and me always showing a GMO drink and everybody getting pissed, even I got to quit the GMOs. And so even I, to make my heart better, have to switch to just the bubbling, sparkling water that's natural with some little of those natural flavoring. I know, I'll admit it. But I know it'll make me happier, and I'm going to have to say goodbye to this beautiful, bubbly drink in my life. Because it's not going to serve me in this new world. It won't. So, and I'm not bullshitting either. You guys watch. You just watch this motherfucking dude change. All right. Let's have some fun and show you the charts. We're going to go through the week pretty quick here because I want to get to the eclipse. That's the big stuff, and I want to get to some of the stuff. So here we are on Tuesday, January 15th. I just did this chart. And look at this. It's been a pretty mellow day, actually, because we're right before this Sun and South Node conjunction. So this is us turning this corner, right, of letting go of past karmic situations that are not in alignment with our true path, Capricorn, of reaching where we need to go. And it's tough. It's not easy. At least the Sun, you know, is strong and keeps its head up. Remember, the Sun always keeps its head up. But when it faces the South Node, it needs to keep its head up and understand and walk through the valley of darkness of karmic situations that are not in alignment. We've got Mars now at the second decan of Aries, real amped up, and this trine over to Venus, which is going on, and Jupiter. This is awesome because that midpoint right there is awesome. It's about 12 degrees right here, and so we're getting real strong here. But of course, this energy is starting to square Neptune. And Neptune is the secret one I'm going to be bringing up to you guys and showing you in all the charts. Neptune is doing some funky stuff. And when you get Neptune doing real funky stuff, I'll tell you the truth, like, you don't want to let yourself lose yourself in addictive qualities to situations that are not divine anymore. Let's move on, because I'll be honest with you, I know there's a lot to talk about, but let's get to the fucking banger stuff. All right, Wednesday, we start the intense part of the show here. Sun is going to conjunct the South Node. This is also while Mercury is starting a minor conjunction, really fast, so don't forget Mercury's flying right now. Minor conjunction to Pluto. Some major truth is coming out, and this is a big choice that we have to start stepping up to in our lives, especially with this moon in Gemini that is definitely wanting to change the environment up, make some changes, and communicate. Communication is the biggest key. The biggest talks are going to happen in Wednesday into Thursday. And the reason why is the Sun will be on the South Node. Mercury will be coming close to Pluto here, as you can see right here. And then when you add the element of the moon in Gemini, which, by the way, this moon in Gemini is going to create some really big havoc this Wednesday, Thursday. Oh my gosh. But really, Wednesday is pretty much setting yourself up, setting up the tables, setting up the plans, and getting ready, because you're going to have to do it. And Venus at 10 degrees, trine Mars, you're going to have to execute and take action towards what you really want, towards the adventure. You're going to have to execute and define which relationships you're going to do, which ones you're not, which ones are really on the journey, which ones do you even identify truly with, or are you identified in relationships and projects truly, and that's truly like the expression that you are, and truly who you are, and truly what you are? Because I know that it sounds so horrible, but because we're having a lunar eclipse in Leo with a sun in Aquarius, this Mars-Venus trine that we're going through in Aries and Sag and all this fire, I'll be honest with you, like, are you really exactly in the right relationships that are really of the same caliber of expression, desires, wants? And it doesn't mean that because we are in a one universe and we all are one people, but we can do so great when individually we have our heart and we're aligned with people that are truly on the same motherfucking path. And then when all of us get together and we do that, then we all meet up because we're all in this great space. I think that the community is just lost in this idea. Thinking like, I need to take on and help all these situations that really aren't aligned with me, or I'm not really aligned with this, or I'll accept this. This is not about accepting anymore other shit that is not on the path. This is about you and what you need and where you need to want to go. And this is where if you got to have these conversations, and these are going to change the environment crazy. I know I said in the channeling section, that is because Mercury and Pluto are going to come into a conjunction with the South Node. And this is the first time we've ever seen it in Capricorn. This is a big change in reality, and this is all going to come really quick this week, because in the shadow of an eclipse, right when you don't think it's going to happen, especially a lunar motherfucking eclipse, square Uranus, if you think you're fucking you know exactly how it's all going to go this week, and you think you're safe and I've got it all figured out, the universe will smack you so hard on fucking your head, just BAM! Just preparing people. That's the universe's way of trying to get everybody to fucking step up or not, you know? So this is where things get real crazy, all right? So if you set things up Wednesday and you get to Thursday here, look at this moon, 14 degrees of Gemini. It's going to make a nice sextile to Mars. Oh yeah, we definitely need to emotionally communicate what we want, but oh, it's going to oppose Venus. Oh, this is definitely not going to be fun. We're going to have some belief battles here with Jupiter and Venus here, and then of course the big T-square, because Jupiter is squaring Neptune and the moon is squaring Neptune, and it's opposing Venus, Jupiter. So you know what, when it comes to relationships this week with Mars trining Venus exactly at 11 degrees, Holy Mother of God. The Sun passed the South Node now. So look at this. The Sun at this point has gone through the South Node, Pluto, Mercury, Saturn. Don't forget at 15 degrees the motherfucking solar eclipse that we just had, okay? The Sun's gone through a lot in 27 days, okay? Not to forget that the Sun, within the last 45 days, also went through Jupiter, also went through this major transition point in the universe, okay? Major. So this point right here is gnarly, because we're out of the craziest part of the zodiac right now. And look at Mercury on the day of this T-square. It will be at 20 degrees, 1 degree off Pluto, and it will end up at, like, right on Pluto that night. That's how fast Mercury's flying. If you saw yesterday, it was at 18. It goes 2 degrees within a day right now. It's going fast. And so this is going to be gnarly conversations that you have to have. And this is going to be really intense emotions about, you know, relationships and whether or not they're going to work or not, or if they're really, you know, in the right environment or the same path or all this stuff. It's going to be gnarly. It's going to be gnarly. It's going to be real. But at the same time, this is wild and exciting if you are ready to do this kind of stuff. This is the change of environments. And this is trying to get you on to your greatest, honest adventure. Like, this is the new corner. And it's almost like the universe, for those that have kind of had the conversations or changed the environment, this is about the excitement of adjusting the new reality. For those that haven't, this is where, holy shit, drama. And I didn't bring that up earlier because at the same time, you got to remember, drama is a big thing about a full moon total lunar eclipse in Leo. So I know that you all are going to watch this and be like, oh, he's so dramatic. Well, guess what? I was born on the first day of Leo. I was born where this moon is going to be full. Guess what? Leo is all about drama. We love it. That's what makes us great actors and creators, and that's what makes good love, and you all know it. The Notebook was so amazing because of the drama of her coming back and being with him, and he at the house, and the moment when they finally get together, and then she fucks him over and goes back to the dude and can't make a decision. Oh, I wanted to smack that chick like in a snow. If I say that now, people are whatever. It's an expression. But, you know, it's like, I just was like, come on, chick. Like, you got the dude. Look at what he did for you. But that's what makes drama. And so this is going to be dramatic energy. Dramatic. Because it's a shadow building up. And the moon is going to go through a lot. Remember, it's a north node in Cancer. I want to not forget this to people. So this is Rahu, of course, in Indian astrology and Vedic and Western. This is this point in which this is making the emotional energies very high. And when the moon is being aspected in major ways, holy bejesus, is it going to be intense. And you're going to feel it a lot. And so talk about excitement for those that are not afraid, or terrifying and being a lunatic for not going with the change. Why? Because the moon in Gemini is immutable, Venus and Jupiter are immutable, Neptune's immutable, and we have this Chiron at the last degrees here of mutable, right? Change. The universe is trying to make the change before this lunar eclipse. It doesn't want to have to do a very fixed, hardcore, you know, change. It wants to already be there. Fixed doesn't want to change things. These are the build-up to making the changes and using this eclipse right, because you will never, you're not 18 years, because I'll be honest, where were you January 2011? That was when we had these set of eclipses, but it was flipped. It was flipped. We had the North Node in Capricorn, we had the South Node in Cancer. And we had the eclipses beginning at the beginning of January of 2011. And so now it's all flipped. But I'll be honest with you, if you even go back to like 2009, 2010, when we had those eclipses in Leo and Aquarius, as a Leo, I can tell you that shit sucked. Even though I got a lot of great things, but man, it's not the same. Because when the South is in Leo, and you got to remember, not to hype Leo up or anything, but it is the sign of the ultimate dignity of the sun, which is the most and the only, it's a luminary, number one. It doesn't go backwards, it doesn't retrograde, and it is what brings life to this whole entire astrology process and the understanding of all 12 signs of the zodiac and everything. It is the most fixed sign. It is in the middle. It is the ultimate of the fixed signs. It's a fire fix. It's the hottest sign. So guess what? I know South Node Leo eclipses, which are going to happen 8 years from now, are not fun because they take fires out and you want to try and burn your fire and it just doesn't go the same way. It's where you have to actually like kind of play the game of Aquarius more, which is a little bit more colder, but it's about figuring things out. It's not about just like knowing how to just walk into a room and change it. It's about having to like figure out how to talk to people and how to be correct. But you know what? This is your moment to just be you and get your inner child back and get that drama back and live the life again. This is rejuicing your fucking old self that's been gone for a long time. What happened to him or her? Where did the fuck they go? Well, guess what? They're coming back or not. You're cryogenically frozen like freaking Austin Powers was and being awoken and getting your mojo or not. All right, let's look at Friday. So this is when the sun squares Uranus exactly. So, I mean, this whole freaking week. Oh, you cannot escape to the hills and go on a mountain and meditate on a rock and think you're going to get through this motherfucker. I'm sorry. Or you're just going to totally miss the universe and the world. You might as well not even be doing the light work here. Because this is about changing the matrix. Okay, Uranus ascending to what we've always wanted in our life, the last square from the sun. And why is this important? Why is this important? Because the whole lunar eclipse this weekend is in Aquarius and Leo, which rule the sun and Uranus. And the sun and Uranus are going to square right before this happens. Oh, you can't make this shit up. And you know what? It's happening in cardinal signs for the last time. Because we're about to have Uranus go through, Taurus for 7 years. And then Uranus is going to come through Gemini through another 8 years. And then it won't come into Cancer. So we are we are like 15 years away from another cardinal square from the sun to Uranus. And what is cardinal? Go, baby! And you're not going to get cardinal squares that push you, right? That's what squares do. They push you. Capricorn is actually pushing Uranus to go free itself and do its true self because it knows that's how you're going to get to your ultimate destiny. But the whole spiritual community has turned this whole thing into, no, you can't do what you really want. No, you can't. It's ego. It's all these things. Da, 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 da. Okay, well, who's going to fucking be Neos in the world? Who's going to fucking go out there and fucking change the world? Who? I hope it's you, and I hope it's you, and I hope it's you, and I hope it's you. This is the sun in Capricorn for the last time in a cardinal sign, going to square Uranus for over a decade. So, this is the moment with this lunar eclipse building towards this moment. And what's interesting is Mercury is exactly conjunct Pluto on the day at 21 degrees. Look at that shit. You can't make that up. You have the truth. It is revealed, and the sun will be sextiling Chiron exactly. This is it right here. I mean, look at the moon too. Square Chiron. Quincunx the sun. You have got to go. Mars still trining Venus exactly. They're just following each other in harmony right now. This is the way to our ultimate feeling good energy. But Venus is going to start to square Neptune, which means, are you going to let your sensitivities outrule this? And are you going to listen to your gut, or are you not going to listen to your gut? And are you going to just be addicted to the relationships or the values or the things that you want that, you know what, at the end of the day, maybe aren't really on the path and really aren't on the spiritual path of where you're going? And the Sun Uranus is a freaking wake-up call. You either wake up and ascend and move higher, which means, guess what? You're going to have to actually do something that maybe at the end of the day that like other people aren't going to like. Because Capricorn and Aries is about selfish, cardinal stuff. Cancer and Libra are the opposite, about taking care and making sure it's fair. Well, guess what? It's not about fairness right now, and it's not about taking care of everybody else, because unfortunately the astrology is in all aspects about us all having to get on the path on our own. We can't be there for the other person for the whole way. We can't just do it all for them. And especially we can't do it for everybody else or other people that's not in alignment. Or hold on to it because we're just afraid. So what is Sun square Uranus too? It's against the people. The sun and the people and the sun, they're not getting along, right? Like Uranus rules the people, the sun rules the king. Guess what? This is the king and the people not getting along. People aren't liking what the king or the queen has to say. Oh, you know, I'm putting a tariff, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or whatever. And the people are like, fuck yeah, well, you know. Well, people might not be happy with some of the choices you're making, but also the positive part of this transit is if you are ready to ascend and you're doing what you want, and it's part of your long-term purpose, guess what? You are gonna freaking fly in cardinal signs. Because I'll just show you real quick, I'll just zoom in here. Cardinal is takeoff. Fixed is flying. Mutable is end. So think of a plane. I'm really bad drawing planes. That's why I always drove. I used to actually draw boats when I was a kid. Okay. Looks like a penis. you guys, I'm just trying to show you guys Leo fun. So this is what we used to draw in my classroom on the teacher's school board. We called it the sheep. See, it's a sheep. Or is it? Okay, so, oh, my teachers were not happy. Oh my God, we used to do that shit on chalkboards all day. Okay, so the plane, it takes off in cardinal. So then when it gets in fixed, it's all about the plane. It's not changing its course, it's on course. Mutables is changing course, changing altitude, and ending the story and landing. So when we look at the course of all these things going on right now, we've got all this cardinal energy, which is let's go towards our destiny. We've got Mars in Aries. We've got Uranus in Aries, which are saying let's go to our destiny. Let's go to what we really want in our life, who we really are. But then in mutable, we're letting go, especially with Neptune and Pisces and Chiron, we're letting go of things that are patterns, that are things that are holding us from our path, and that are things that are really weird and honestly, you know deep in your soul, they don't fit. It doesn't fit right. It's like putting a round peg in a square hole. Like you can try and you love it and it's compassionate and you know, it's like as a kid when you try to I remember I used to try and keep a pet cricket. I think it lasted like a day or two and then I lost it. You know what I mean? Like, come on! What is it? Why are you continuing to try and do these weird things? And then, of course, you got Venus and Jupiter, which are very bright and coming together, and it's an amazing thing to watch. And this is a bright star of good luck, but guess what? It's an immutable. So you got to change the course of the adventure now into a new direction and look to a new horizon now in all your relationships and your own desires and your own wants. And Jupiter will give you whatever you want. But be careful because Jupiter, Neptune, that's going to conjunct, and I'll show you all later, is going to square Neptune. So is it going to be that you want to just hold on to a pattern that you know that's not going to work? So you're going to use your wish, like with the genie in Aladdin on I wish for jeans. Beep! I already had a pair of jeans. Fuck, you know? Come on, man. And then what's most interesting about Friday is as the moon's making the quincunx to the sun in Capricorn, guess what? It comes into Cancer Friday night. And that is a full moon. Even though it's not exact, we're going to have this 4-day full moon bullshit that I really just don't understand when we do. You know, it's something about, and I'll show you guys what happens when we have full moons and new moons on the cusps. So the last day of Capricorn is Saturday, the 29th. So we have the sun in Capricorn, and we got the moon, which is right here in Cancer, which is going to square Mars, and which is going to be in opposition to Saturn. So we have a major T-square, okay, with the moon, which is pretty much full, coming towards the north, the north node, building up for an eclipse. This Saturday is emotional toughness at its highest. The moon opposed Saturn is in a battle there. This is indignity. 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 Holy Mother. Look at Venus now, 13. That means it's going faster now than Mars. It's done. Mars trine Venus. Did you use the week and do it or not? Because now you're coming into some kind of weird territory if you haven't, or you're coming into a magical adventure. Any way you want to look at it. And with the moon opposed Saturn, yeah, it's tough. The new lines of comfort, the new ways that we're building our life and our emotional space is having to confront all of this Capricorn before the lunar eclipse in Leo. So before you can get paid with all this amazing things and the love of your life, you're going to have the toughest emotional stuff that even if you already made the choices, you just have to let them go and deal with them and purge them. And then Mars square the moon and square Saturn is very tough. Because it's like I'm going where I want to go, but do I feel guilty? Am I breaking the rules of what the traditions of life say? And, you know, I'm emotional about it. It's like, you're going on your quest. That's integrity to go do something that you feel in your heart is going to bring you the life that's more comfortable and be the person that you want to be. So when you get those feelings and those emotions, or you're afraid to make those choices in your life, well, guess what? Use that to get through this. This weekend is gnarly as fuck. And you know what? I can't even put it at extreme position. I'm putting it as gnarly as fuck. If they actually, I don't have a gauge for that one. It goes off the gauge. Actually, you know, the car just starts flying into the universe. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck? Chitty chitty bang bang. So, Saturday's gnarly. I'm sorry to say, if you think that this weekend is just like happy-go-lucky, relax and chill, I got some other news for you all. This is rattling the cages, and be careful this weekend with Mars square Saturn to not do anything stupid, because people will push their limits with Mars trining Jupiter and Mars trining Venus, wanting to feel good, wanting to do whatever they want. But with Mars square Saturn and the moon doing it, I'd be careful on Saturday. And look at this at 5:37 p.m. Pacific. This is 8:37 p.m. Be fucking careful, because then Mercury as well, it's coming towards the south node. The sun's at the last degree of Capricorn, which I'll be honest, that's crusty. And you know what? You know who got me into crusty? Not Krusty the Clown, but just crusty at the end of Earth signs is Jeff Jower, who is an amazing astrologer who passed away years ago. But he did an amazing reading for me, and he always described the end of Earth signs as crusty old. And crusty old Capricorn, 29 degree, you know, he don't fuck around over there. Kronos at the end there, before it comes into Aquarius, before he has to meet his father, is greedy as hell and will eat and will chomp and will say no and will throw his rule of time and throw his restrictions at the end degree. I'm just going to be honest. And there's still a square to Uranus, so, you know, there's rules that we still have to abide by in life. I mean, yes, this is about great adventures, and with Venus squaring Neptune, Neptune ruling drugs, Neptune ruling escapism, you got to just be careful about where this goes, because if you don't have, and Michael Luton said this today, I think on a post, if you don't have good breaks, it's a good way to look at Mars and Aries with Saturn in Capricorn, like you're going in through a wall. You know, and so I'm pumping everybody up, but this is where the drama gets intense, is this weekend, because it's facing your own emotional, personal stuff and your reality and where it's going and saying goodbye, and also at the same time, you know, being very oversensitive to these new expanding situations that are great, or denying great situations and deciding not to do it and then going into full escapism. And of course, let's do the eclipse. So Sunday, of course, the sun is already in Aquarius. Saturday night, plus the sun will come into Aquarius. So I think Saturday night's going to be pretty gnarly, because into Sunday night, it is going to be this lunar eclipse at Leo, 0 degree, and we move into Aquarius. And now this will be the first time in years, right, because it was an 18-month cycle through the south node in Aquarius, that we've had the sun come in without the south node here. And actually it was even worse 2 years ago in 2017 when the sun came into Aquarius before the south node came in. It was the south node conjunct Neptune. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was very weird. It was very odd. It was right after Donald Trump got elected. There was, it was actually exactly 2 years to the, I think, the day. And it was just a weird vibe in the world and everything. And so the last 2 years has been very weird in Aquarius. And we are in a very different place now. And it's Venus square Neptune. So even though there's this big love, this is where I'm going to show you the Neptune thing. This lunar eclipse is sessi squaring Jupiter and Venus. It is sessi squaring Neptune in Pisces, which, by the way, Neptune in Pisces is semi-squaring Uranus. Uranus is sessi squaring over to Jupiter and Venus. The moon and the sun in the middle of a lunar eclipse is squaring Uranus. You can also look at Saturn and Neptune sextile being in divine alignment. But what does this mean? This full moon lunar eclipse, to get to your heart, you're going to have to ascend to a higher place of who you really are. You are going to have to look at these big expanding new places and what you want. And you have to actually look at a weird angle and realize, am I going backwards into just trying to hold on? Am I not sensitive enough? Or am I too sensitive? You know, I think would be the thing is I'm too sensitive and I'm too delusional and I don't want to deal, and I'm just going to use this wish for me to wish to hold together something I'm afraid to face, because Leo is courage. And the sun, unfortunately, is at detriment. So courage is not really there. It's emotional courage. But you know what? It's hard because the sun in Aquarius is not about courage. It's about backing out of situations to reflect and try and figure it out and then entering back in. That's why Aquarius is so weird. It's different. The Leo jumps in and I'll be king. I'll be the actor. I'll be the one. I'll do it. I want the attention. I want the happiness. I want love. Let's jump in. Let's love. Aquarius kind of goes, hold up, motherfucker. I need to kind of back out real quick here. I'm unsure about you. Let me think about this one. Let me look at every situation here. So we step into this lunar eclipse, and it's going to be emotional courage or emotional happiness at its highest or at its freaking lowest. And there'll be this weird feeling of whatever choice you made through this last couple weeks and this last month, I would say, and especially with Uranus, which is in a semi-square to Neptune. I mean, you know what? In order for us to go in these weird directions, we do have to let go of things. I'm sorry, and they're not going to be easy. And with Mars, which is at 13, exactly square Saturn, yeah, it's going to be tough choices to become who we want to be. We have to make choices that are for the long term, the best for us, that really are what we want. And there's a little bit of soberness to that. Even though the moon wants in Leo to be fucking on fire and have the blast of a life and fucking party. By the way, Leo rules partying. I used to fucking party my ass off. It was a great time. Jupiter and Venus is a party, but it's square Neptune, so yeah, I'll be honest, it could be a really fun. I'm not saying we're not going to have a party. It could be an amazing party, but you know what? You need to be either knowing you're ready to go to the tribe, which you don't even know what that looks like, but you kind of do in your soul, and you know in your intuition, because now it's ready to happen. It's ready to have the world you've always wanted in your life now, if you've made the choices to finally connect to what your heart really wants and what it doesn't want. And this is the point. It's now. That eclipse. Boom. Chiron's leaving by Valentine's Day. Uranus is leaving March 6th. Look it, we're already at the 20th. This is a month away. These are just planetary actions of old big transits over the last decade that are ending. So this is a major endpoint of the eclipse cycle. This is a major endpoint into the way that things are going in your heart and your happiness and connecting to the world and making tough choices and seeing the opportunity to finally have everything that you've ever wanted in your life and go in the direction that you want and redefine yourself. And there's a sobering moment of having to do some hard choices and actually do it and you know, cut the shit off that don't work no more fully, because when Mars is in a battle with Saturn, you got to. And with Uranus that's squaring this and squaring the nodes at the same time, this lunar eclipse and the nodes, like, you either ascend to who you really are or not. Like, Uranus is kind of a weird, you know, the mythology of Uranus was he was the god of the heavens, the god of air, the god of the weather. And the ascension to the closest you can get to God, right? Like, to hear and feel and see at the highest parts. You either are going to take this rocket ship now of love and who you are And even though there could be some feelings that you might be doing it alone, the truth is you're far from alone. And to be honest with you, this is the entrance to, and because of these very powerful angles of Neptune with Saturn, with the eclipse hitting Neptune, with Jupiter and Venus, this is the entrance of new angels into the world, into the reality. And this is my secret. That the dark is trying to persuade people to be afraid. Well, here, I'm just going to do this. To be afraid, they're projecting. So imagine walking down the yellow brick road and, you know, you're walking, yay, and you're walking, and the universe is putting all these dark projections. The dark is putting all these scary, like, pictures up of, oh, but if I leave this situation, I won't be able to make it through. Oh, but if I leave him or her, you know, they won't be able to do this, or I'll be alone, or whoa, or oh, I'm not really still dealing with my past situations and my emotions, and so I'm gonna just fucking keep avoiding them and trying to drown them in an addiction or something. You know, the universe is doing everything it can to avoid you from getting through this point, because on the other side of this is literally, when we get through this point of this eclipse in this whole week, guess what's on this other side? The new world. And what's on this new side? There are literally, I can't draw angels. I don't even know what I'm drawing right now, but you know, there are new angels with wings. I better put a better color. Okay. Angels. Okay? And these angels are new. They were here to be here for the new ascension and the new age and what we came here to do. And if you can make it to this eclipse and do the hardest light work you've ever fucking done, I'm telling you, on the other side, even though you might feel alone, you might feel whatever, and just getting rid of the people that just don't work, all the situations that just are not in alignment, and purging it all, you are going to enter into the most supreme, highest fucking calling of life ever, on the greatest journey of your life, with all these new angels that are going to join your guides. Don't forget, your guides are coming through with you. They always are following you. But they are meeting with some of the new angels that were here. And that I was channeled by my guides this week that the projections of these new angels are almost feeling like the dark is trying to project them as fallen angels. As like, you're a bad person if you do this, or you're wrong if you do this, or I'll just keep holding on, or I'll just keep... No, they're trying to hold you from getting to this new motherfucking world with all these new angels and all this new stuff, because this is the major change point right here. This is it. This is the last time we are going to have the lunar eclipse in Leo with the North Node for 18 years. This is the last time we will have a North Node with a lunar eclipse in Leo, or any Leo eclipse with all these planets in dignity like this. Never again, and never again with Saturn and Pluto, especially with Saturn in its home sign. Look at how close we're getting now. We got Pluto at 21, we got Saturn at 13, and guess what? 13, and guess what? Look at Neptune, 14. We are in within 1 degree, less than a degree of the Neptune and Saturn sextile, which has not happened in literally centuries and has not happened in any of our lives to the most divine moment. And this lunar eclipse is trying to get us fucking there, because from when we enter Monday, you guys all still with me? Amazing shit. I can't even believe this. I cannot believe Monday. And you know what? We'll use this red color. Jupiter and Venus conjunct on Monday, exact 15 degrees. Oh my gosh, they're off the square to Neptune. And guess what? They are trining the moon and trining Mars in this amazing grand trine of these Jupiter, Venus, the two brightest stars that are planets are coming together in Sagittarius halfway through the sign. Halfway. This is the galactic center that comes through right here, okay? This is the Milky Way galaxy that comes through here. Jupiter and Venus are meeting at this huge point with Mars in trine and the moon in a full moon lunar eclipse trine. The sun is making a semi-square as well, by the way, on this lunar eclipse to Jupiter. Or is it? No, it's not. Thank God. So we're good there. Or actually, are we? Hold on. 30 degrees of Capricorn. Yeah, it is a semi-square. And so we have to not be afraid to connect to a new world, to allow these new angels to get there and to get to this place. But look it's all happening at the Milky Way. And Mercury is going to be conjuncting that day on Monday, the South Node. It will go to 26, and this will be the true understanding of the truest change of a reality we will ever see in our life. Mercury rules our environment. The South Node is the physical manifestation, or K2 especially, and it's all happening in Capricorn at the same time that the Sun is at this point of the eclipse point. We're moving in. There's no more South Node. We also have the Sun semi-squaring Neptune. This lunar eclipse is semi-squaring it all and quincunxing it all. It's insanity. This is divine alchemy. This is the highest degree of so many alignments you'll ever see in your life on a lunar eclipse, I'm telling you, with the divinity that is going on of the divine with the dignities in the astrology. You'll never see this in your life again. And the biggest part of this is this is where the reality changes completely, fully. Your new environment, the new change, your new ideas, it's all here. And here is the big grand trine of fire to light it all up and reignite yourself. Mars comes off Saturn. Mars starts to trine Jupiter, and you enter into the week of January 21st, either a hero into the new world with new angels, or you missed the boat, and I'm just going to be real with you. You chose the wish of not being on that train, fate train, and living in that ultimate heart, and you want to be the observer, which there's nothing wrong with that. And I have, you know, and Craig, will you just show my screen real quick for me? So, this is Camelot. This is the Holy Grail. This is, hold on. This is when King Arthur, Lancelot, here's Merlin, and here's Galahad. Galahad is the one who finds the Grail, Lancelot's son. But this is the Knights of the Round Table. This is the greatest quest that ever happened. But back then, the alignments were not ready. They weren't ready. They were not ready yet. It was a test. And this is the Holy Grail. And as I'm talking, the rain's picking up. You can't make this shit up. Oh man, my microphones are coming down. This is it. So, I think just for a minute, everybody should just really pause on this. Because it is good to go into the mountains and meditate. I'm not trying to put that shit down. I'm just saying that that is not going to change the world itself. It's a tool. And it's getting, I'm telling you, this is the universe is talking right now. Because I would, with every breath in your body, every part of your soul, take this moment before these eclipses and before this week starts, and know, are you going on this or not? Like, this is it. Erase everything in your life and what it was. Look at this crossroads as lessons and things that happen, and there'll always be memories. But the greatest memories are about to happen ever, the ones that we came down here for. Don't lock yourself away. Please. Because people think it's their pineal gland being calcified by fluoride and the chemtrails and what you're eating and GMOs, and I get that shit. But the ultimate, the dark has fooled those people because it's you afraid to go and let go of what you know is not working and go towards the path of divinity. Because a non-calcified, pineal, third eye, pineal gland, and, a non-GMO or a non-this or a non-that, but that doesn't go on the trail, ain't gonna fucking change the world. So guess what? The dark wins. You might have a really healthy body there for a second, or a healthy pineal gland, or whatever the fuck you want to believe. But if you don't cross the bridge because you still are holding on to that boyfriend that's not right, or that husband, or that situation, or that job, or that home life, or that place where you're stuck, or that place that you're helping that person, or you're helping this situation, and you're just giving yourself, and you're not living in your happiness, but you fucking did your meditation and drank your green juice. How does that defend or beat the darkness? The darkness isn't about how aware you are by what's fluorinated or not. It's whether or not you have the awareness to understand a higher consciousness, galactic motherfucking consciousness. We are done with just simple consciousness. Galactic consciousness, and following where the galaxy wants us to go, where the multiverse wants us to go, which I'm going to end this with. This is about you knowing how to either tap into your frequency. I could tap into my frequency with drinking this motherfucking Sprite, brushing my teeth with the deepest amount of fluoride toothpaste, and swallowing the motherfucking shit straight up, and I know where the fucking universe is going. I know where the multiverse is going. And I'm going to fucking go. And you know what? Leo loves to cuss because it's the fucking heart. Why do you think comedians cuss? It's the heart. That's what makes you laugh. Why do you think fuck is the greatest word in the universe? You can use it about fucking the hottest thing, or fuck this, or I fucking love it. Trigger City we live in. We live in Trigger fucking City. I'm saying goodbye to Trigger City, and I know we're those new angels that we've never seen before that I think are so insanely hybrid whatever. I have no idea. God is about to drop some freaking amazing angels on us. So I'm going there where I know they're not triggered. I'm going to a world that's full of love and happiness and no triggers, because if you truly do live in your full heart, in your inner child, you are not triggered. You're not triggered when your best friend blows boogers and eats them. You laugh. You are not triggered when your best friend fucking has a blast and fucking in the backseat of the car knocks your head off and knocks your headphones off your head. You love it because it's the moment of love. It's love. And love accepts all the great things. It doesn't start to say, you fucking are drinking this, or you're eating that, or you're doing this, or that was all that Aquarius South Node shit for the last 18 months. And everybody knew the fucking way of the age of Aquarius, when the age of Aquarius has nothing to do about fluoride, even GMOs, even though I think, yeah, sure, it's affecting our health. Trust me, I get it. But do you really think that, and I'll bring Jesus up, do you think with Jesus it was about that stuff? With Jesus it was about love and healing and spreading the message of love. He didn't tell people what to do. He told people how to love. And that's all there is. But if you don't know how to do that in yourself, if you don't know how to really love yourself, I'll be frank as fuck, I love myself a lot. Straight up. That's what's got me here today. I get more questions, more emails, more things of asking, how did you make all this shit happen? I fucking loved myself. I love fucking just being me. I don't care what people think. I love because it feels funny. It feels good. I enjoy triggering people. There's something fun about that shit. And especially in the spiritual community, you know, it's a joke to me. I still go, though. I'm still part of it. I caused massive waves over the last couple years in the astrology community about how I think all the organizations aren't exciting. And they're really boring. And they're not with the times. And they're not doing crap. They're not changing the world. In my opinion, I mean, I think they are helping individuals become astrologers and stuff, but they're not giving them the tools to reach the world and to expand astrology and keeping it all contained. I'm not afraid to say that. And I feel that the spiritual community has become, ironically enough, flipped from when Neptune was in Virgo. We have Neptune in Pisces. The spiritual community is connecting what you eat as spiritual instead of spirituality. Like, do you really think that your yoga pose will change if you ate a certain way and then let's just say I didn't tell you and I threw in a fucking French fry from McDonald's? Like, do you really think like your ascension is going to change of what choices you're making and how you're changing the universe? I'm sorry, but no, it's not. And I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is all that matters is fucking do you realize that the only fucking body part in the whole fucking human body that emits electromagnetic field is the heart? And how do you think all those old people that reach 117, you know what they ask them? When they say, how did you end up and how are you still alive and still happy? There was a lady 2 months ago who had her 100th and like, I think 8th or 9th or 10th birthday at Taco motherfucking Bell. I'm not even fucking kidding. And they asked her why, and she goes, because it makes me happy. If you are going to live your life based upon ideas, beliefs, and all these things about what you think other people and all these things in the world of the way it should be to be spiritual and to be on your quest, you will miss the whole boat. Because it's your own heart emitting that electromagnetic frequency at its highest range. Because even though the detectors say it's about 6 feet, I know when I emit my heart that that motherfucker is emitting to other fucking universes. That's how motherfucking far your heart can emit. And you want to change, you want to see the world change? It starts with you and you emitting your heart and your fucking vibrant and electric energy fucking of love at the fucking highest degree and reaching the whole motherfucking universe. And stop doing this like, I'm bringing it in more, I'm bringing it in more, and I'm only loving this part, and I'm not allowed to love this part, because this Saturn-Pluto conjunction is the dark. It is the fucking Death Star coming in and subliminally with Neptune and sextile, I'm just going to be honest with you all, subliminally fucking with people like the Riddler and Batman, telling you how to be spiritual by fucking what to do and how to do it and all this shit, when you know the only answer is fucking emitting a life. There is no rules to it. When it comes to love, it is whatever you love. If you love fucking black carpet, and if you love fucking whatever, and you love whatever the fuck it is, guess what? That is the thing. If you love saying the word fuck, guess what? That makes you the right thing. There's only the positive of Capricorn that just keeps ethical standards. Because nobody loves to kill somebody. That's not a love. That's not emitting love. Anyway, I have a really cool webinar that's on sale right now for half off. It's at theleoking.com. It goes into this last 2 weeks here of January and the big Saturn-Neptune sextile. And with all this Aquarius energy and Mercury coming into Aquarius and finally coming into an air sign to finally give us some clarity and to finally see this new exciting environment, check it out now at theleoking.com at the store. And What else do we have? The what? Oh, and then my Fate Train tour videos. I freaking went on tour in 2018 to 6 cities, spent 7 weeks on the road, and did these awesome videos, and they are for $100 for all 6, and it's over 12 hours of content, and it goes into relationships as one section. We go into, well, we started in Denver with the relationships. We then went into, what's the name, Chicago with the future of astrology. Then we went to New York for the future of business. Then we went to DC for the future of government. And then we went to Tennessee for the future of the home and family. That's also with the spiritual home and family. And then we finished Texas with the whole future of the future. So those videos are at theleoking.com. Just click Fate Tour videos. I recommend to do it on a computer to buy it, so you have the login, and then you can just click each link on your phone if you want to watch it on the road or anything like that and stream it or whatever. It's pretty simple to do, but I recommend buying it on the computer. It's a lot easier, and then logging in through the phone. Man, oh man, oh man. So, you know, life. I was going to smoke a cigarette, but I don't give a fuck anymore. Anyway, I love you all. Have an amazing life, please. I hope to see you all on the other side of the greatest playground, the biggest spiritual quest, where everybody allows everybody to be everybody. And if you took anything I said today as saying you not to do something, it's the only thing I told you not to do is miss the boat. That's it. But if you see it as another way, really good luck to you. I love you all. Please spread this message. Please. I really need to get this one out. This is my biggest call I've ever done to people, ever, about this moment. Thank you so much. I'll see you. Oh, I'm going to be on Steve Harvey on NBC on Monday, January 21st, during the Lunar Eclipse on NBC 2 p.m. So watch the Steve Harvey show, NBC 2 p.m., doing an awesome astrology segment. Steve Harvey's the man. It's going to be pretty cool to watch. Anyway, love you all. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.